Good evening. We are going to create some fun teacher stuff tonight. So, let's see if I can get going here. So, this is one of our new transfers, and I think it is adorable. I love that. It is a very simple one, but it also has a lot of great fonts, and I love some good fonts.
Very simple.
So, whoops, I've got my iPad on. I don't want my iPad on. I mean, on my volume on. Well, hi there, Carol. So, thanks for joining me tonight. So, this is going to be a very quick one, but we are going to paint. We're going to paint our little door tag. So this is just a 1/4 inch door tag. Chalk makes some white door tags, but I cut this one. We are out of the white ones online right now, but they're about this size. They might be a little longer. I like these kind of short, squatty ones. So we are just going to paint this one right quick, and then let's see. I can't see comments again. I tell you, Facebook is not being my friend lately. I'm going to go back on this and see if I can come back in and see you guys. So, anyway, if you have questions, if I don't answer them, it's because I don't know that I can see them half the time. So, sometimes it allows me to, and sometimes it makes me just a little crazy. But I'm not going to worry about it. So, we're just going to paint this. We're going to paint it a solid black. But, oh, let me show you the transfer. Oh my goodness. So, this is one of our new transfers. And look at all of the great design it has on it. And not only that, it is a great message. The influence of a good teacher can never be erased. And oh my goodness, like in my statement above, I don't think we can appreciate our teachers enough. So let me set that over to the side a minute. So we're just going to paint this one with a foam brush. I know you've heard me talk about foam brushes and how they're just so quick and easy to run along the edges of anything. Now you guys know that I'm going to probably get paint everywhere anyway, but this method keeps it a little less messy. And I do the sides and inside the circle first so that I can lay this down. And that way I can paint the top without having to touch it. So these little foam brushes I got at Michael's are the best little foam brushes. I have bought them at every kind of store you can imagine, but this one seems to be the best, and they were actually very economical. So let's see. Okay, so this is just also some Waverly paint, chalk paint, but you can use acrylic, anything you want. I'm going to do a little kit with these because we're going to also use this transfer tomorrow night, and we're going to put it on a shirt because I think it is super cute. And since you can reuse your transfers about a dozen times, you could make some cute teacher gifts, whether it be a shirt or a little door tag. Now I am going to put this in my Let's Create group tomorrow. I won't get a chance to tonight, but tomorrow I'm going to put this in there as a little kit. And if you hop into there, I will show you all the details and cost and all that. And it will be good. Good. So I'll do a whole little kit. You'll have little paste packets and the door tag and the transfer course. So let me try to get this last little bit down here. And other goodies as well. So I'm thinking about doing a whole little kit that you can put together. And if you have kiddos and you have more than one teacher, this is a great little project because the kids can help you. And since the transfer can be done more than once, it would be very economical. Just some extra tags, and I'll include in there so that if you want an extra tag to do more than one project, we can do that. So we've almost got this painted. Okay, make sure all our edges are nice and done. And this dries super fast. And what we're going to do is, I want to show you how to dry brush this tonight too. So we're going to let this one, we're going to set it aside and let it dry. And I'm going to use the one that's already painted black, because if you're going to dry brush something, you want to make sure that your black paint or whatever color your base paint is nice and dry. Because if you don't, we're going to have some nice gray paint. And we don't want that. We want our white to sit on top. So let me just set that over there to dry. And this one, I've already, of course, painted in black. And I'm just going to use some white paint. Now for this one, I love my old beat up brushes because I just want this paint just to sit on top. So these, and you want to literally always start with a dry brush, hence the technique name, of course. So this is just some white chalk paint, and this particular brand was from Michael's. But acrylic paint, chalk paint, any of that works. I do like the chalk paint sometimes because I like, besides that it's messy, I like that it blends together nicely. When I get finished and I want to sand it, it will blend together nicely. So that always makes it better. So hi Kathy and Holly, how are y'all tonight? I finally can see a couple comments again. So this one's all dry. That one is drying. So let's just do a little dry brush. One of the things that to me that's key with the dry brush is you want it to go in the direction that's going to follow your eye. So if I dry brush this and I just make little swirls all over, that's going to really mess with the making it look long, making it look like it is following your eye in the direction that it should. So I try to dry brush mine in the direction that I want the eye to go. So whenever you're, let me scoot this over where you can see it. Of course, you're going to start with a dry brush, and I dip it in, but then I really scrape the majority of it back off. I want that to add just a little bit at a time. And so I'm already being messy, y'all. Okay, so I'm just going to start at the top, and I just like to kind of drag it down, like I say, in the direction that I want it to go. So just a little bit at a time. I'm going to dip back in here again, but I'm going to also take most of that off. And I always start at the edge because I want my heaviest paint to be at the edge, and I just painted the table, which is perfectly wonderful. So, but like I say, if you start at where you want your bulk of your paint to be, you can start at the bottom and work your way up. And if you put just a little bit at a time, you can kind of control how thick and how much you get on there. I like my white to be pretty covered, but not just like super heavy. I like all the lines. I like all the texture. It just immediately makes the wood just have a little extra something. Woo, that tried to move on me. Let me see if I can straighten that line back out now. After I talked about straight lines, my tag moved. So let me get just a little bit more white in here, because I know that I want this to be more white than black, because I'm going to use black paste to for the transfer. So, and we're going to have to dry this because I don't have another magical one to appear here. So that's all the white I'm gonna do on that one. I'm just gonna set that aside, and I'm gonna wipe up my paint on my table real fast and hold this over here, and then I'm gonna dry this real quick with a heat gun. And it really doesn't take long to dry chalk paint. And so it won't take but just a minute or two before. And then after I get it dry, we'll put the transfer on right quick. So what have you guys been working on? What is everybody doing tonight? I'm going to try not to burn the table and hold this up, because sometimes I'm a little dangerous with the heat gun, as you guys probably recall. But that'll be drying just a jiffy, real quick. And you can always kind of see where it's drying. So, I posted a picture earlier of our finished product from last night. And tomorrow, we're going to put this on a shirt. Since you can reuse our transfers, you can do a whole bunch of things. And then I'm going to have this available as a little kit in Design Your Life group. So you'll want to make sure you're in there if you're not a designer already. If you're a designer already, dang, you can't be in there. But if you're not, that's a great place to hang out. So I think that looks pretty dry. Let me set this off for just a minute and let's see. Oh, Kathy, I am waiting on a shipping notice as well, girl. I got these transfers, and there's been some shipping issues. Let me try to get this dry along here, because COVID, of course, and several other reasons, but they're trying to get everything shipped by this Friday. Now, whether that happens, I don't know. So I had another order that I would love to have, but I guess we'll get it when we get it. I do know a lot of companies. Somebody was talking about other companies, and I've had dealt with this too, that shipping with them, they'll tell you right off it's going to be like a month or two before you get, and I'm like, whoa. So if we get it in 2 weeks, I think we'll probably be okay in this little COVID mess. Okay, let's see. But I'm with you. I'm waiting too. I'd love to get our new stuff. It's so much fun. Okay, so that is relatively dry. I won't say it's completely dry, but after it's completely dry, we're going to pretend that it is, because I am impatient. I always take just a sanding block and just smooth it out. So that way your transfer sits on there much, much nicer. And most of the time, it also, let me grab I'm getting all kinds of stuff. Hi, Anna. How are you tonight? So, most of the time that dries pretty fast. And then I'll also, since our transfer is new, you guys have seen me put a little bit of wax on here. And last night you saw me throw the lid. It went flying as I picked it up. So I am not without talent, that's for sure. So just a tiny bit of wax. You can just tell that's not very much. And we're just going to swipe it all over. A couple things that does is protects so that your transfer doesn't stick too much, because these transfers are super sticky, which what makes them last so long and get so many uses. So I just put a little bit on, and then I basically just buff it all back off. It's just enough that it makes your board very smooth. It protects your paint, but it also protects that transfer and makes it last a long time. I want to start on Christmas stuff too, Kathy. I was looking earlier at one of the little transfers that says something about naughty, nice, I tried, because I think it would make the cutest little door tag like this. So I am with you. Totally with you. I'm ready for some fall, some Christmas, and you know, all the stores, you have to go ahead of time. So I'm going to cut this top part off of here. This to me looks like a little, like an eraser type transfer, just like a board eraser, you know, like chalkboard eraser. So I want this to be here, and I might use that as a border. I haven't really decided. I'm thinking about putting it across here maybe twice, but I'm going to do this part first, and then I'm going to decide, because this may be just perfect the way it is. So I may not want to do anything else. And I have these cute little beads here that we're going to put this tie on with, and I think the beads are going to be our biggest pop of color on this one. So here we go. So let's just peel off the back. And since our transfer is new, and this is one of our smaller transfers, so it's a great one. If you haven't tried chalk, this is a great one to try it with, because it the smaller ones, you don't have to worry about it sticking together, because the backs, if you haven't seen them, the backs are super sticky. You can tell it's sticking to my fingers, and that's what we want, because that's what helps them last so long. But if you're handling a large transfer or even a small one, they can stick together, and you don't want it to do that, of course, but if it does, a lot of times you can get it back apart by putting it under water. So when I do put this in water, it deactivates the sticky. So we're going to put this about right in the middle. I don't always put stuff in the middle, but I kind of like this one there, because I'm still thinking about that border depending on how this looks. So let's see, that looks about right. So we're just going to press it down. I always just press it from side to side. And I'm going to use just a touch of this bumblebee, but I'm mostly going to use black, because you guys know me in color. A little color goes a whole long ways for me. So I like just a little touch color here and there. Let's see, I'm going to leave the lid back on that yellow, because I don't want it to dry out. This old heat, stuff can dry out. So I am thinking I'm going to do this one pencil in here in the bumblebee color, and I'm thinking I'm also going to do the word good. Or should I do the word teacher? I think good. Good in yellow. What do y'all think? Do you think good in yellow or teacher in yellow? I have noticed that, Kathy, and I'm happy about the black and white always being popular, because you know that is my favorite. And you know what? I don't think that's straight. Let me look at this again. You guys know me and my straightness here. Let me take another peek at this right fast. We'll peel it off and put it back down. So you can tell how easy they can stick together. So you don't want to do that. This can peel back up, or I can leave it down since it's just a corner. But this is why our transfers last so long. And it also, in case you see this later and I'm not on here live, there are silk screens in here, so that's what gives us all the great detail. They're not just an open cut like regular stencils are, that you can just everything's going to just bleed under and all that. This is not happening. This is all good. Let me see if I can get that straight. Let me hold it up, because that's, you guys know that's my best way is to hold it up and see I keep sticking this one to myself and not where I want it. Okay. Okay, do not mess with me here, peoples. Let's see. I'm gonna have to go get a glass of wine. I think that's the issue. If I had a glass of wine, I'd have got that the first time out. I'm just like Bernice on Designing Women. Anybody else watch Designing Women? Oh my goodness, that was like, those ladies were like my heroes. So we're just gonna use a little bit of this black, and I'm gonna do the top part. I should do the bottom part actually, and then peel it up and then do the top. So let's do that. We're gonna just put some on here, a little paste on, and we're gonna take most of this back off. You can also, if you don't want certain areas to get paste, you can just tape it off with a little masking tape. So I'm gonna turn this sideways where I can get a better, nice straight across their edge, because I don't want all of that to get black. I think I do want the book to be black and that pen to be black. And so then this will dry quickly, what we're going to do is we're going to just peel this up and then press it back down. That will keep it from drying. You want it to dry on your board, not in the silk screen. So we're just going to peel that up, and I'll show you how cute it is. You guys, the detail is just amazing, isn't it? And so we're peeling this up just so it dries onto our board and not in our silk screens, because the silk screens are just such fine little mesh there. We want the paste to be on there. But look at the detail. Oh my goodness, that is just so nice. So I'm going to just lay this back down. I'm not going to press it down on the teacher part. I'm just going to press down the parts that I haven't done. Got a little black in there because I got a little messy fingers, but that's all right. I could actually, if I got a little black where I didn't want it, I could come back and just wipe that off. But I usually just kind of go with the flow. So, hi Linda. So let's do our little touch of this bumblebee in there. And I'm going to use this little multi-tool because it helps me get in to smaller areas. So our paste is nice and thick, so we can do this. So remember, if you like this, you can share my post, but you can also go into my Let's DIY group, and you'll find some little kits in there soon, tomorrow, that you'll be able to purchase and create your own. And they will probably have some ink as well, because that's what we're going to do tomorrow night. So that way you can make super cute little shirt and a great teacher gift. If you are a teacher, you could still make a cute shirt and a cute little door tag for your classroom. So let me do the pencil real fast as well. Chalk just makes you look good, even if you're like me and you're messy and all that. It just makes you look all shiny. So I'm going to go back up here with the black and finish this off. And I could have done more colors on there, but I really wanted just a little pop of color on my board. So now we want to peel that off because we want it to dry on here. Oh, I like it. I like it. And so I'll wash that off when we get finished and let it dry again so I can use it again. So while that's drying, let me close some of these pastes back up because we're done with the yellow. Let me find the lid. And I like the yellow on there. And let's look and see if we want to do this with the black along the bottom. You guys tell me, what do you think? Do we need what looks like a little eraser along the bottom? or should we call it good without it? I was thinking, if I was going to do it, I was thinking about just doing it twice, where it went all the way across the bottom. But I don't know if that'd be too much, because I kind of always just like our boards. So I got a little bit right there, so let's just wipe that off. That's another great reason for waxing your board, because you can just wipe off. Of course, on this one, you really couldn't see where I was messy, but so let me still think about that bottom, and you guys think about it. So let's work on the top real quick. I told you this was going to be a quick product, quick project, not a product. I guess a product as well. But I'm going to put a wire hanger on it, and I'm going to put some of these red beads. So I don't know how many it's going to take. This is a garland that I got from last year at Christmas, and so I'm just going to pull some beads off of it. And I like to put them on the wire, or of course the jute is great, but I like the wire because if you saw my pumpkins the other day, the wire is so stable that it holds the beads in a nice shape. So we're just gonna, and it also is super easy to string them, unlike a rope where you have to put something on the end, a jute or whatever. These are super fast to put on and stay in one place. So of course you can do as many beads as you want. I'm gonna put, whoops, do not get in my wet paste bead. So I'm gonna put a few on here, and then I'm gonna decide. I may have to take some back off. So I'm just gonna string them on here real quick. That is another thing about wire. Oh my goodness, look how fast and easy that is, you guys. And these were some Christmas garland beads from last year. So I thought, oh, they're perfect. So let's see if that looks about like what I want. You can do a whole bunch, you can do a few. I'm thinking that looks pretty good. Maybe let's put one more on there just to make sure. Or two. I pulled two off. Let's put two on. Whoa! Okay, so there we go. Okay. Does that look like the right amount, you guys? So it's going to hang something like that. You know, if we hang it on a doorknob, though, that may ought to be a little taller. Do we want our beads to be all up in there? Let's see. Let me bend that out where it looks like it would hang on a doorknob. I think that will hang on a doorknob. Let's put one more just to be sure. And then I'll try it on a doorknob, and then I'll count and see how many we need to put on here for a doorknob. Because we want them to be full enough that it stays in place. That looks pretty good. We're going with that. So I would usually just run these through here, if I can remember, because I do it different all the time. And our paste should be just about dry. I'm going to try not to bump it just in case. So if we kind of just run that through and bring this through here, we want our noisy cars to not be loud downtown, but they always are. So I'm going to bring this one over here. I hope you can see what I'm doing. And this one over here. And then we're just going to twist those around however you want. I mean, you can twist them up tight, you can twist them down lower. I'm going to bring that down just a little bit more so it's a little bit more secure up there with my beads. So if I bring that just a little bit tighter, there we go. That's going to be better. Because I wanted the beads to kind of meet up at the board. So there we go. That's more what I wanted. I have to get up here with it and get all serious with it. And then this one, I'm just going to pull it up here tight again. And that's why I like to work with wire, because you can really make it do what you want it to do. So just bend it around. This is just some 16 gauge like concrete tie wire. Nothing serious. And then we always just use a paintbrush or some kind of stick and make our wire twisted, and that will hold everything in place where you want it. And it gives you those cute little curlies. So, okay. So I'm going to just bend those ends down because I don't want those, they're a little sharp. I don't want those to poke. So I always just bend those down pretty tight. And you can also take your pliers and kind of press your wires right here. That makes this much tighter. See, that's so cute, you guys. I love it. Of course, you can do a little tassel with just some other string and add it on there, or some cute, like at the Dollar Tree or something. You could get some cute teacher something and add it on there. Let's see if I can do a tassel real quick. I always think of Aladdin when I hear tassel. It's like, I love that movie. It's like, give me some tassel. So let me do just a few more turns here. You probably can't see what I'm doing. I don't know if you can see where I'm at or not. So that may be a little bit long, but we're going to call that, and then we'll just trim it off to the size that we want. We'll add just a little tassel up there. Just because we want to, just because we can. So this jute is a little bit thick for a tassel, but is what I have handy. So we're gonna go with that. So I've just looped it around here, and then we're gonna trim that to where we want it. So we're just gonna make. And like I say, this jute is a little too thick for this particular tassel. I'm just going to show you kind of how to do it though. And then I'll make a smaller one for it actually. I don't see my smaller jute. So I like to just make it and loop it there. But you can also run a piece of string through here. And that's what we'll do here at the end. Let me see if I can get that. So much for nice and tight. I pulled the wrong string. I pulled the wrong wire, a wrong rope. So you don't want to do that. So we're going to just trim that off. And I should have ran this through here before. So we're going to pretend that I did. And that's what we would hang our little tassel from. So ignore that I didn't do that part, because honestly I haven't even made any tassels before. I just thought, well, this might be a good way. So you guys are seeing the learning process. So I just cut those, and now we're going to just kind of even them out. So winging it is definitely a plan. People always say winging it is not a plan. I'm pretty sure it is. So if we use smaller, but that's still pretty cute, you guys, even though it kind of looks like an octopus. So, hi Jan, how are you tonight? Hi Donna, I do love this. Hi Kim, you guys, and there's Karen. Thanks for hanging out with me tonight. So we're making a little tassel, but we're also making a little disaster. So let's try this one more time. Because I don't think my octopus is going to fit on there. He looks a little big. So let's try this one more time. That looks a little better. This wires or jute's a little bit thinner, or a whole bunch thinner. You guys, the other day when I was in Utah and we were at Chalk's office, see, I think this will work much nicer. They had, my surface is just a what is that stuff called? It's just like contact paper onto a cardboard so that I have a neat surface. But they had actually used a like flooring and just made a nice surface to go on top of their table that they could wipe off and everything. And I'm like, I need that in my life, because you guys know I'm always trying to wipe up a mess. So I thought that was a great idea, just to have flooring put together. And now let's see if we can do this. Now that I learned the proper way while I was doing that, because seriously, that was the first little tassel like that I'd made. and I've got a good mess going on going on here. So let's see. This little ball of string, usually I pull it from the middle, but it is whipping me tonight. It is like going crazy. Okay, let's fold that and see if that's looking a little better, and that doesn't look as much like an octopus as the other. So let's do just a little bit more. I'm glad you like the octopus, Karen. It's so funny because once you see something that looks like something, you can't like unsee it, you know? So I'm looking at that going, that's an octopus. I cannot put that on as a tassel. Hi there, Debbie. My daughter is a teacher to second graders. Oh, bless her heart. Oh, that's like frontline stuff. we need to appreciate our teachers a whole bunch more. And then I think that we do. And I think that's probably one of the things that might come from COVID is people that thought teachers just had it so easy having summer off are probably finding out that was not the easiest thing. So this time, before I fold it over, we are going to do a little knot in the middle because I learned just a minute ago that my tassel needs something to hang on to. So we do this, and then I think I'll just put a little twisted knot up here at the top. I'm going to have to turn a light on. It's getting dark outside. I hope y'all can still see because I really can't see very well. So, like, woohoo, there's light. Hey, Debbie Bradley. So, okay. So there's my little, so that will hang my little tassel. So we are gaining on it now, you guys. And this part then, now I'm going to just put another string around there. And if you guys have made tassels before and you've done it a different way, I would be happy to learn from you because, as you know now, this is something I've never done. So we're going to just see how it goes. This one is looking much better than that first one. I think the smaller jute was key, besides the fact that I did a little hanging tie thing up there. Okay, so now let's cut these little strings, and then we're going to trim this off. You don't want to trim too much because before long you will have no tassel. So let's see. Okay. Let's go just a little bit shorter because I think for this particular one, oh look, that's much cuter, you guys. That is much cuter than that one. So I don't know if we'd need one or if we'd need two. What do y'all think? I'm going to make it just a tiny bit shorter. And hopefully I'm not going to make it too short, but I think it needs to be just a little bit shorter. Just like a beautician, a stylist, you cannot put that back. So then I just kind of like fray out those edges. And I do think winging it is a plan because I think that's pretty darn cute. So our little, let me blow all the dust off of here. I'm making a mess right and left. So earlier today I was cutting out new pumpkins for some of our fall stuff, some bigger tall pumpkins. So let's see if this will just slide onto one of our wires there. Cardboard to wrap around works, then slip your tie cord on first. Ah, Kathy, that is exactly how we used to make them years ago. My aunt was a serious crafter girl, and I don't know if her daughter's still on here. Anna was on here a while ago, but my aunt Betty Ann was like the serious crafting person, and she really always made everything. And so let me see what this looks like through here. So I do think it needs more than one too. So I'll have to think about that. I do like the tassel, but I think it needs more than one if I'm going to do it, or leave it off if I just do one. So I think either way would be good. But anyway, Aunt Betty used to make those just like that, Kathy, and she is the one I have told you so many times that you remind me of her, because you have all these great crafting ideas, and I love that, and I always love that about her. And so I think that's super neat. And you're exactly right. I totally remember wrapping those around little cardboards and tying it off. So I think that's finally about the right size. But I think it needs another one that's a little bit longer. And let's see, like trimming bangs. Yeah, once you start, you just keep trimming. Yeah, you don't want to do that. This is a little better than bangs, but as y'all can tell, I've got quite a nice little pile of cutouts here. So I've been trimming. Hi, Kim. So, but yeah, I'm loving the bead garlands too. And I love that if you put it on wire, look how stable it is. So that would be so cute hanging, and you can bend it out if you want it to go on a doorknob, and you can, you know, squish it up if you want it more oval. So I love that about the wire. And this grade of wire is a nice heavy grade that you can do a lot of things with. So we're gonna call that done for tonight, because I don't think I want to use that other piece on there. I really like it the way it is. I think this might take away from it. But you know what? After a while, I may look at it and go, and put it on there. So just to see. So I'm going to clean up my mess. Thanks, you guys, for hanging out with me. I'm going to actually go home earlier tonight. Since I got back from Utah, I've been so wanting just to do everything that last night, about 11 o'clock, I finally decided I wasn't so tired that I could actually go fix some supper. So I had fresh tomatoes and bacon. That was supper. That was that was quick and that was easy. 50 years of practice. Yeah, Kathy, you do. You just remind me so much of my aunt, and she was the best. So that's a big compliment. That is nothing but the best compliment, because she was like one of my favorite people. Okay, you guys, I am going to call that done tonight. I particularly love those little red beads. So I'll probably make another tassel and see if I want to hang those on there, or if I just want to do the red beads. And because, you know, anything I make, I always set it down, take a look at it, decide if I want it, and decide where it's going to go from there and all that stuff. So I think it'd be super cute with or without. So I'm going to mess with it later and decide. But tonight I'm actually liking it without. But on the plus side, I got to learn how to make a little tassel or not make a little tassel, both. And so it just depends. Yeah, Karen should made a bacon and tomato sandwich. I hardly ever eat bread, so there's probably no bread in my house. When Bill's home, there's bread, and when he's not, I don't care about bread most of the time, unless it's Olive Garden, and then that's like a good bread. But so I don't care about it most of the time. Oh, good, Jana, I didn't even see you hop on here, girl. So thanks, Kim. So I am gonna get off of here, you guys. Go home and make some dinner a little bit earlier tonight, unless I decide to cut out some more wood pieces, because earlier, oh, let me give you a really quick sneak peek. So I love this new fall transfer. I can't resist. I think it is so cute. I am not crazy about the lines around it, so I'm going to leave those off. But I cut out this huge pumpkin, and I think specifically for this, it's about 18 inches tall and about, I think, maybe 14, 16 inches wide. But how cute is that going to be on there? I'm so excited. So soon that's going to be up, because it's another transfer that I love. I love the way fall is done. I love the length. And so I'm going to put it on here, but without the lines on this one, because I want it to be more free-flowing. So anyway, couldn't resist. Had to show you. So you guys have a great night. Thanks for hanging out with me. And my info and stuff is at the top. If you want to know more about chalk or being a designer, let me know, and I'll happily chat with you about it. So have a great night. Thanks for hanging out with me. Bye, y'all.